Good morning. I am Karima Kandabar, and I'm a former high school dropout.
Tonight, a stunning statistic. More than 1 million high school students drop out every year. Former Secretary of State Powell calls it catastrophic.
Also tonight, a lost generation.
Only half of all the students in the nation's largest cities are actually graduating from high school.
Every 26 seconds, another student gives up on school. Nearly 7,000 kids drop out of school each day.
This is not just a matter of doing good things for kids. It's a matter of national security.
America's Promise Alliance is today launching a 2-year campaign to mobilize the nation to turn the tide against the dropout and college readiness crisis.
On April 1st, 2008, America's Promise Alliance took action to make every American aware of the high school dropout crisis facing the nation. Nearly 300 people, which included 25 members of the media, packed into the Columbus Club at Washington's historic Union Station. The event released the findings of a new report and launched a 2-year national campaign that is mobilizing Americans to address this crisis.
It strikes me that today, on April Fool's Day, we have been fooling ourselves about the magnitude of the problem. And we have been fools to let so much human potential go untapped.
Key members and supporters from what is now the nation's largest partnership alliance took the stage to underscore their commitment. From nonprofit organizations,
I pledge and I commit the National Urban League to do everything in its power to support this effort from this day forward.
To policymakers.
The Graduation Promise Act, which we've introduced, will try to put federal funds and federal focus on assisting those in schools where the problem is the greatest.
Jeff and I are committed, as well as Senator Kennedy, to make sure that Congress plays their part at facilitating what America's Promise and other groups around the country believe should happen.
And business leaders.
State Farm is proud to be an alliance member and has committed to connecting the 144,000 people associated with State Farm across the country to the many opportunities in their home communities and states that will address this crisis.
Only one in American public high schools.
The event ignited a movement and inspired what is now a national conversation going on across the country today.
The statistics point to a glaring gap between graduation rates in the cities and the suburbs.
There is sobering news tonight about America's public high school students. An alarming number of them are not graduating from high school.
A new report out on high school dropouts confirms the problem is worse than many experts thought. A new report on high school graduation rates shows the Bay Area ranks near the top and the bottom of that nationwide list.
Within just 24 hours, the news media engulfed the public with coverage of this landmark event and report, reporting the startling dropout stats.
According to the report, in 17 of the nation's 50 largest cities, the graduation rate is lower than 50%.
And conducting interviews with key members of our alliance.
We had a big press event, we released this report, and we are calling for 100 summits to be held, one in every state and in the 50 largest cities.
One in 3 American public high schools.
In the weeks to follow, media in big cities and small towns across the country continued to support our call to action. The success of the April 1st kickoff event was record-breaking. The television viewing audience was estimated at nearly 74 million. The radio broadcast coverage reached close to 33 million listeners. The print media, including the Annie's Mailbox column carried in thousands of newspapers, reached over 140 million readers. And more than 15,000 people visited the America's Promise website on April 1st alone. By the end of the week, that number reached more than 30,000.
The simple proposition here is that it is not just a problem for our schools and for our teachers. It is a problem for all of us.
What we're undertaking is nothing less than changing the future of our nation.
And we stand with this effort with the hope that beyond this incredible gathering and announcement in this historic building, that we can spur and initiate a new movement in the 21st century.
I am Karima Kondabar, and I am a future college graduate.